Welcome to Storytimer. Debra Ann Wilhite. She worked at the Windmill restaurant on Highway 41 and Highway 57. It was 1974. She was young and worked as a waitress like a lot of people do at that age. It was very hard work. She had long days on her feet carrying heavy trays of food. The Windmill was a busy restaurant at a very busy crossroads. They served home-style cooking and were in business at that location for decades. In addition to being physically demanding, waiting tables in 1974 was also emotionally draining. Men were always making passes at her, saying rude and lewd things, and grabbing her. In 1974, many men didn't see anything wrong with grabbing a woman's bottom. It was seen as a flirtatious compliment. They thought the woman should be flattered by the attention. But Debra was just trying to earn a living. She was only 19 years old and already had 2 daughters. She and her husband only had 1 car, and they were trying to get ahead in life. They were trying to make it all work. It had been rough. Debra had not finished high school, and jobs like this one were about the best she could get. Debra was last seen in the parking lot of the restaurant after her shift on October 16, 1974. It was a rainy night. A long-haired man of about 30 with a medium build was talking to her and bugging her for a ride. Her co-workers didn't know the man. They also disagreed on whether Debra knew the man. Some said she seemed to know him, but at least one waitress said she did not know him. He wasn't a local man or a regular customer. Neither she nor her 1966 green 2-door Ford Galaxy has been seen since. Debra was supposed to pick up her husband that night at an Evansville bar, but she never showed. It was as if she had disappeared off the face of the earth. Her mother had been watching her 2 daughters that night. She would end up raising the 2 girls in the wake of Debra's disappearance. Debra's husband assumed that she ran away. He reported his car stolen by her. Police had to talk him into filing a missing persons report. 2 years later, he would die after being hit by a train. Debra's oldest daughter would also pass away 4 years later from leukemia. Her one surviving daughter, Misty Walker, is still seeking answers to her mother's disappearance today. She is a mother herself now. 50 years have passed since she lost her mom. Possible suspects in 1974 include Stephen Timothy Judy. He was potentially free then, but his movements are hard to pin down. It's not Jeffrey Lynn Hand. He was already in custody for the killing of Jeffrey W. Thomas and the kidnapping of his wife in 1973, very near the Windmill restaurant. It can't be Raymond Charles Lamb. He was in FBI custody for several 1973 murders and was in custody as of March 1973. Sadly, it could be quite a few people. Violent crime was surging in the 1970s. Police theorize that the same killers of Sherry Gibson may also be responsible for the disappearance of Debra. The 2 cases occurred just 1 year and a few miles apart. The case of Sherry Gibson is tragic and gruesome. I'll share all the details in another post. It is a very long tale. In 2003, Ella Mae Dick and Wayne Gone Gully would be convicted of this horrific abduction and murder. Could they also be responsible for the disappearance of Debra Wilhite? It seems very likely. One theory into Debra's disappearance is that she and her car were disposed of in an abandoned coal mine pit near Elberfeld, which has since been filled in due to reclamation laws. So it would be under about 30 to 60 feet of soil. That's just one theory. Please contact the Indiana State Police if you have any information about the disappearance of Debra Ann Wilhite. Rest in peace, Debra Ann Wilhite.